talk about detaching from the human hologram for a minute, okay? And becoming your higher self. So I'm going to tell you about, I had a client earlier, and I was explaining that sometimes when we're going through like very tumultuous things in our life, we're feeling very afraid and very scared and not sure what direction to take, and we are dysregulated. And when you are dysregulated, you take dysregulated steps and you get dysregulated results, okay? And so this morning I had a good experience with that. So I was very dysregulated this morning, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go on my hour walk. I get my 3 miles in. It helps regulate my central nervous system. I feel more at peace. And I said, this is what we're gonna do. I am going to go on this walk, and nothing is wrong in my life. Everything is exactly how I want it to be. Everything is great. We are vibing. I am thriving. We are at optimal percentage, okay? And sometimes you need to do that. Sometimes you need to check out momentarily from what is going on in your 3D human experience, because it is a hologram projection, okay? It is a physical representator of what is going on in your internal state. So there is something off either in your consciousness or your frequency that is creating non-preferable experiences. If you're trying to take action steps or figure things out from fear and anxiety, you're coming from your same consciousness and you're going to get the same results. So what you need to do is take a breath, take a moment, get up in a higher vibrational state, higher frequency, because now you're connected to a higher version of self who is outside of the current circumstances that you are in. They've already traversed through it. They've made it out on the other side. So as I'm walking, all of these like quote unquote problems start coming up, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we have 0 problems in our life. Everything is great. Okay? And I just felt so at peace. And does that mean that things are changing in my external circumstance? Not immediately. But for that hour, I can just stop, because there's a lot of us that are going through timeline shifting energy right now, where we had all these big goals and visions for our lives, and then the collective shift happened recently, like with the Lionsgate portal, and now everybody's like, what I thought I wanted to do or what I was working towards isn't what I want to do anymore, but I don't have another plan. And that's kind of been where I'm at. Like, I had a certain vision for my life and my business, and now that kind of got chucked out the window, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing moving forward, but I'm trying to do that from a dysregulated state. And so I'm going to get dysregulated results. I'm feeling like so much peace about my, life where everything's working out. I can hear my higher self very clearly. And she's like, hey, why don't we do this? And I was like, oh yeah, that would be fun. That feels very in resonance with my soul. It's different from what I was going to be doing before, but I think I would really enjoy that. And I just sat with that and started thinking. But then what happened was I immediately started wanting to take action. Like, all the tabs started opening up in my brain, and it was like, oh, let's do A, B, C, D, E, F, D to get all these plans going, okay? And that is representative of the old identity, because I had a propensity for, when I got an idea, to just completely throw myself into it instead of just sitting with it. It's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to not know what the next steps are. Like, it's okay to surrender into that and to just sit and be and exist. Will there be a time where I can take action steps towards those goals? For sure. But how about we just sit with the idea and see if it's actually fully in alignment? Because when you start raising your consciousness up, those things that are in misalignment get subtler and subtler. Like, what you think that you want is what you think that you want from a dysregulated state, or because you're attached to feeling stressed and anxious to give you the fuel to push you forward. What kind of action steps would you be taking, and thoughts and emotions would you be feeling if you were in a regulated place? If your life was going exactly how you wanted it to, if everything was working out, you would probably take completely different steps forward. Okay, so my higher self was like, hey, here's an idea. I'm not saying you need to act on it right now. I'm just giving you an idea, okay? We need to handle this in a different way than we would have in the past. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I don't want all my wheels spinning. I don't want a million tabs open. I want to follow what feels good and is in resonance. So what we're actually going to do is take a breath, put that in the background, and let our subconscious work on it. Subconscious is there to do that for you. Let's let it do that. And and we're just going to keep on going on our walk. And if it's in resonance and alignment, we'll channel more of those download steps. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to sit here and force it from a fearful, shameful, guilty, pushing type of energy, because it's what I've done. Oh my gosh, y'all, my phone overheated and then it saved this video to the drafts, luckily. But I was like, you know when you're like going in on a TikTok and then it doesn't save it? And I was like, oh, maybe that message was meant for me to hear. But it saved it, luckily. So anyway, I'm not exactly sure where I cut off there, but I was somewhere around like, hey, we cannot take fear-based action steps. Okay, we need to take time to regulate self, get up in those higher vibrational states. Like, just check out from your reality for a minute. Like, it doesn't cost you anything to de-identify with your problems for 15, 20, or 30 minutes and get in that vibrational identity and that frequency state of everything is okay, everything works out for me, I'm the luckiest person in the world, I'm the creator of my reality. Because if you can just momentarily get there, you will take completely different steps moving forward in your life.